Chapter 3. For everything, there is a season. This is probably the most famous part of the book of Koheleth. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck. A time to kill and a time to heal. I found myself thinking about this passage, listening to all the news about what's happening in Israel and Gaza and so forth. Wisdom, according to Koheleth, is knowing when it's the right time. There are times to kill. Was this it? Now, no doubt some people would argue with that. But, it is not the case that specific actions are totally off the table. It depends on being at the right time. There may be circumstances, well, they mightn't justify everything, but they would justify a lot of things. In this, too, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to tear down, a time to tear, a time to sow, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Now, that in a way is biblical ethics in a nutshell. If we were doing the Pentateuch or the Law of Moses, what we typically do with the Law of Moses, the commandments, is you have two kinds of material in the Pentateuch. You have the absolute laws, like the Ten Commandments, that sound absolutely, we call them apodictic laws, that sound like they have no exceptions. And then you turn over the page to the next chapter and you say, well, if so-and-so, then something else. In the Ten Commandments, you read, thou shalt not kill. But in the next chapter, you read, but if somebody does certain things, you kill him. The death penalty actually is prescribed for almost everything in the Hebrew Bible. Not incidentally for property crimes, but still it's applied to an awful lot of things. And it kind of makes a mockery of the idea that thou shalt not kill. And in fact, that commandment should have been translated, thou shalt not murder. The difference between murder and killing is murder is killing that is not permitted. Now, so does that tell you when it's permitted? Well, no. You've got to read on and find out all the different circumstances for that. But you see, this is the underpinning, you might say, of casuistic law, case law. And in this frame of things, all sorts of things may be permitted, but the timing and the circumstances are crucial.